This is From the Big House to the Penthouse podcast. Stories of addiction and recovery. The lie is dead. We do recover.
Cabrón. Hey, dude, I'm gonna bring my guitar next time, right?
You can play?
Hell yeah, I can play. Randy Rhodes.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
happening?
Welcome back to another episode of From the Big House to the Penthouse, Stories of Addiction and Recovery. As always, I'm your host, as always, is Enrique Ricky Cruz.
And my co-host Raul Badass Moreno. Right.
What's going on, Ricky?
What's happening?
Man, what you been doing, man?
Man, you know what? I'm just working and trying to make it to Christmas, man. That's what I'm trying to do.
You look
know?
tired, bro.
Man, I am tired.
You look tired.
I'm a little tired, man. We're getting to the holidays, Raul. It takes a toll. It takes a little bit of a toll on me. I don't know about you two guys, man, but I've got to, I have to, one with the business, I've got, we've got some time coming up. So I have commitments to our clients that I have to keep. And then, and then I've got to spend all this money on Christmas gifts, man. And I don't have to, but I love to. So, just all kinds of different things coming on. And we've got some changes going on here, not to plug in cruisingcars.com. But thank you. Got a specials going on.
No, seriously, man. What you got going on?
No, what I was saying was, we've got a lot of things going on. We're doing some upgrading here at the shop, man, and so it's a little stressful.
I saw that.
But man, I'm gonna say something. Man, I've got somebody that we keep bouncing around back and forth. We have a special guest today. Raul, tell us about this guy, man. You know what I'm gonna say before you introduce him? I'm gonna tell you that our special guest, his first name starts with a D and his middle name starts with an M. It's DM. But this special guest of ours, before you introduce him, Raul, he came out of nowhere all of a sudden, man. For me, he approached me. I'm gonna say this, man. He approached me at a chamber of commerce event, right? And he said, "Hey, man, I know you."
Yeah.
Hey, man, I know you. And then I was like, okay, yeah, I remember. But anyway, that's how we were introduced to each other. That's how we met. But anyway, Raul, take over. I'll let you tell the audience about our special guest tonight.
Man, well, let me tell you, I've known this guy for a few months now. Well, maybe what? I don't know.
Well, 7 months.
About 7-8 months. And from the time that I met him, man, to now is night and day from who he was and what he is now.
He's changed that much.
Dude, he has.
For the better, I hope?
Oh, yeah, for the better. Definitely.
For the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's everywhere, man. This guy. I think he figured out a way to clone himself because this guy is absolutely he's in Angleton, in Houston, in Manville. All in what time?
Huh?
Yeah, yeah, man. So let me introduce our guest, man. It's David Miller.
Applause.
David Miller.
All right.
Man, so David, what's going on, brother?
Not much, man. I really appreciate y'all having me today. It was always an honor to be around y'all too.
Well, hey, the feeling is mutual.
It
Absolutely.
is mutual, definitely.
Definitely, man.
Definitely. Man, tell us a little bit about yourself, David.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, my name's David Miller. I'm from Pasadena.
Pasadena? You're
look,
past a get down Dina.
I'm so Pasadena. I got a tattoo on my arm.
Oh, he's that Pasadena.
I got it when I was back in the Marine Corps, and then
all right.
I missed home so much. And then I got out, and I was like,
so Pasadena, huh?
Yeah, Pasadena, bro.
All right.
I'm
get down Dina.
I'm not sure which one to judge you more on, Pasadena or being in the Marine Corps.
You can't judge nobody
by its cover.
Army, aren't really Marine jet. That's what that stands for.
So Raul, I have to ask. So anyway, you're introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Pasadena.
Man, I'm 41 years old, man. I'm a grandfather.
Really?
Yes, I am. I have a beautiful grandbaby. Thank you. Got a beautiful wife, Misty, of 18 years, 3 daughters, and I have an insurance agency here in Pearland.
Okay. Wait, what's it called?
It's called Voyage Insurance Group. Right there. Gonna plug in cruise cars. I'm gonna
There
plug
you
in
go,
boys.
There you
boys.
go.
Hey, and I heard not for nothing, man, but I not for nothing. I heard I saw a video yesterday. I talked to one of your clients is actually a client of mine, and it snapped because she looked like somebody that I knew. And I said she looked familiar. She says, your name came up that she had bought a house, and I said, wait a minute, I think she was the relator, was friends with the person that was you sold. Did you sell insurance to somebody with a new home buyer like a couple days ago or last week or something?
Dorothy Wynn.
Yeah. So you sold did you sell a house or you sold them insurance?
I sold him the house insurance.
The house insurance.
bought
I thought for a few minutes, I said, man, he's selling houses too. Like, yeah, man, this guy's cornering the market.
Doing everything, bro.
So hey, yeah. So I was well, congratulations on that, man. She
Thank you.
seemed very grateful. Like she was very grateful on the savings that you provided for her. Tell us a little bit about Voyage Insurance.
It wasn't so much savings, man. It was her and her husband, 24 years old. They're just kids, and they were just kind of getting the runaround, man. And they reached out to me on Facebook. And I was able to just kind of coach them through some things and give them some advice. And, my insurance group here is that I don't work for the insurance company. I work for you. I work for the client.
There you go.
So I have 50 carriers throughout the United States. So they compete with me for themselves to get you cheaper
So
insurance.
you compare prices for them. You do all the legwork.
I do all the legwork.
Hey, man, you know what, dude? And that's important, dude, because you know what? People like, I don't know about anybody else, but me, I'm so busy that I need. Yeah, absolutely. But David, we brought you on the show for a reason. And we're glad to hear about your Voyage Insurance. Anybody needs insurance, hit David up. But David, I'm curious about something. This is an addiction and recovery show. Would you like to share with us, something to do with your, are you a recovering addict or alcoholic or anything in that, any of those, is there any stories you could share with us that has anything to do with that topic?
Who's David? Why are you here?
I thought this was just a commercial. For
Commercial.
Recovery. Oh my gosh. Man, to be honest with you, I am a recovering addict. I'm a recovering addict over 20 years, man, of cocaine, crack, methamphetamine use, man.
You're a winner. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Heavy duty. Yeah.
No, I didn't mess around.
Yeah.
Didn't mess around. You're going to do it big.
Do the applause?
Applause, yeah.
No, we're just kidding. But what we're actually is proud of him because he's on his recovery. And and I'm going to tell you,
Raul, I'm going to tell you, for me, and I don't know about David or anybody else, Dave, but for me, I like to share what I was on and what I recovered from. Because I'm going to tell you something, dude. Recovering from a highly addictive drug like cocaine, crack, methamphetamines, dude, that's a big accomplishment, man. I mean, not that any drug is worse than any other, but there is, in my opinion, there is. You know what I mean? For instance, for me, drug recovering from weed is a lot different than recovering from crack or methamphetamines. You know what I mean? 100%. But in any event, not that we're glorifying the drug. We would never do that. But at the same time, we have to find humor in it to get by. You know what I mean? At times. But anyway,
you have to, man.
Absolutely.
You have to. I mean, I had to recover from weed because it just made me eat a bunch of tortillas and butter and go to sleep all the time, bro.
Yeah. Man, so tell us a little bit. Well, yeah, but tell us a little bit from the beginning, man. Tell us
what got you here.
Oh, okay.
What got you there? Yeah, got you here to the to where you assumed or you figured out you had a problem.
Oh, it was back in 2002, 2001. I first tried my first line of methamphetamine while I was in the military.
In the military?
Yeah, in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. Did my first line, man. I was, I grew up short, half Hispanic, half white. Wasn't Mexican enough for the Mexicans. Wasn't white enough for the white people. Growing up in Pasadena, man, made it very, very, very difficult growing up. So I got,
What do you mean? But can you elaborate on that? You say you weren't Mexican enough for the Mexicans and not white enough for the whites. And what about the Japanese?
Well, you know what? I went to Japan, so I even tried them too. And apparently, I'm not Japanese.
So tell us what that means, man. So did you have some kind of a complex when you were younger about your ethnicity, or how's that called? Is that the right word?
Well, yeah, yeah.
Was there like a questions about where you like lost? You didn't know what you belonged to?
No, it wasn't so much where I belonged to. It was where I got bullied a lot, man. I really got bullied a lot. People always pick on me, dude, because I was really short and I couldn't speak Spanish. I didn't speak Spanish.
You were really short.
Okay, carry on.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
No, mames.
No.
But I didn't speak Spanish. I don't see y'all doing this to other guests on the TV.
Yo, we do.
Hey, this is what I'm talking about. This is what happened to me in high school.
Did y'all go to the same school?
Man. No, wait. So you're from Pasadena and you couldn't speak Spanish?
I couldn't speak Spanish. No, you know. So my dad was 6 foot tall gringo. My mom's a little short Mexican.
But you could speak English.
But I can speak English.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I wasn't Hispanic enough for the
Mexicans.
For the Taco Town over there in South Houston, Pasadena.
That's racist.
And yeah, well, it is what it is. And I wasn't just
why gotta be tacos for Mexicans?
I raised animals. I raised animals for FFA and stuff in high school. You know, I was a 9th grader dipping tobacco and had cowboy boots and a hat and raising animals, man.
So you were like a country boy Mexican.
Yeah.
But you now, let me ask you this: did you fit in with the? I guess could you say country folk? But did you fit in with them, or you were too Mexican for them too?
No, I fit in with them.
And
you
know,
not
a race thing, right? That I'm not. But
we're
I'm
not
just,
starting no
we're
race
setting
wars.
it up, right? I'm just setting
race.
up the what you call it, the trouble that you had.
You're just teeing it up,
right?
We're teeing it up for what's going to happen,
right? So
but
go for it.
I never really did anything bad, man, in high school. You know, we drank. This was back in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? So back in the early 90s, time was different back then. We walked around in our coveralls, dude, with tobacco, cigarettes, snuff, and everything. You know, it wasn't illegal for us to have it.
Okay.
You just couldn't buy it.
Okay. So you had a complex about
I had a complex about that. So when I went off, I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it big. So instead of going to college, man, I went to the Marine Corps. And if I'm going to do it big, again, I'm going to do it big, big, big. And it was rough getting through the boot camp.
Really? Why?
Because I'm short.
Back to the short one again.
All them tall.
But you got through, right?
But
you got through, right? Because you were able. Yeah. So tell us about that. How'd you get through? It was hard.
Determination, man. Perseverance. And you know what? I was like, I have to make it.
And I'm going to tell you something, Raul. I believe him saying that. You know why? Because today, if anything, I'm going to tell you something. If anybody sees this guy and friends with him on Facebook, dude, he's determined. He doesn't give up. I'm like, this kind of guy here. And I'm going to tell you something. I can see him being a recovering addict because you can beat the son of a gun, man, and he just keeps coming back. Like that guy from what's his name? Louis, what's his name from Casino? When he says, but I see him everywhere, man. And he just doesn't give up. And that's great. That is great, man. Anyway, keep going.
So where was that? Oh,
that's right, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle, whatever, Michelle.
What'd she say?
Look at what she says. She says, go big with just seeing his head on the screen. David wore the wrong color tonight. I did that on purpose so I could see my company. But no, man, and I had to do it. And then next thing you know, I chose field artillery. You know, the bullets were bigger than I was, man. And so I made it through. Somehow I made it through. But when I got into the Marine Corps fleet, it was different, man. That's where we're going to be. I was going to be home, and I noticed, and I remembered all my life that I had to fit in anywhere I could. And if it meant me just doing something wrong, I shouldn't have gone drinking with them guys so many times. You know,
when you were in the Marines?
Check this out, man. Somewhere? Check this out. You know what? I forgot something. In 1998, man, I died of alcohol poisoning. Really? On prom night.
Really?
I was in Galveston. I drank I shotgunned a whole bottle of Goldschlager. And
going big. Huh?
Yeah, I shotgunned a whole bottle of Goldschlager just because I said I couldn't do it. And I remember going outside on the balcony and looking over right there on the water, man. And somebody picked me up and they held me over the balcony upside down.
What?
Yeah. And I was swinging. I remember swinging, brother, and like, yay. And somebody came outside and screamed, and I kicked in, and I was like, what the hell? And I started freaking out. They picked me up. I started throwing up everywhere. They put me in a bathtub, threw me upside down so I wouldn't choke on my vomit. They called 911, and they left. I woke up in the hospital the next day. Me it too. My dad did not want me to go. My dad's passed away now, but my dad did not want me to go to the prom because he knew I was going to do something stupid. Yeah, whatever. So I did. I woke up in the hospital. I remember looking up, asking where I was at. And at the same time, I'm like, where's my mom and dad? And like, your mom's holding your hand. My stomach, they had to pump my stomach. It was pretty bad, man. But fast forward back in the Marine Corps fleet, I had to fit in where I could. So I drank a lot. I started drinking a lot. I'm just a kid. I'm just 18, 19 years old in the Marine Corps in California at the time. And I had not done anything. I have never done a hard drug yet. It wasn't until we went to Japan. I got stationed out there in Camp Hansen in Okinawa, Japan. And one night, man, we went to a rave out in the middle of the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the craziest thing I've ever been through.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody offered me some mushrooms. I've seen it on TV, tried it. I remember falling down. I remember throwing up, falling down, man. And I thought my legs were broke because it all kicked in.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had the best yakisoba and Tootsie Rolls I could ever taste in my life after the mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
What's a yakisoba?
It's noodles, like your ramen noodles.
Oh, okay.
Some of the greatest stuff in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just like, oh my gosh, this thing it enhanced everything in my life, and I loved it, And then paranoia kicked in. The first many years following of paranoia, the next 20 years of paranoia kicked in. So it didn't take much, man. Then we went to Thailand. I remember going to Thailand after that too, and because we shot field artillery. Sorry.
Y'all can't see, but when somebody taps the table, I
are you leading up to the story with the what was that girl that hit you in the back of the head? Can you share that story with us?
You want me to share the story? I'll share that story.
Yeah, tell us about what was you said he was a what was
we was in Pattaya Beach, Thailand. And okay, so that was the first time I ever tried cocaine.
Well, when you were in Thailand?
When I was in Thailand. Yeah, the guys had it up in the hotel room, man. I remember doing a line.
Why?
Because everybody was doing it.
So just to be part of the group?
Just to be part
of
the group.
Peer pressure.
Well, because the Marines I was hanging out with, dude, those were the cool ones out there. You know what I'm saying? And so
do you think that you wanted to be part of the crowd? You part of the group? You just want to say fuck it? I'm sorry. I was a kid. But you've never tried it before.
I've never tried it before. I've seen it on TV.
Had you been drinking already before you tried it, or you were
I've been drinking ever since I was 12 years old?
No, that day.
Oh, that day.
That day. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, were you completely stone cold sober and went, "Hey, man, let me do it." Somebody do a line of coke, or had you already been a little tipsy?
No, we had already drank some Black Cat whiskey from Thailand and a few beers.
Okay.
And
so you were already a little lit,
just a little lit,
right?
Just a lit. So they
makes decisions a little easier,
just a little bit.
Yeah.
So they busted out of line, man, and I did it. Okay. And I just remember us leaving it there. And as soon as we hit the streets, our first sergeant was walking down the street toward us, and holy crap! I'm like, to me, if I looked in the mirror, it would have felt like there was powder all over my face, and this guy can tell that I was on drugs. But that wasn't the case. I just remember doing that, dude, and I just felt this euphoric feeling like I've never felt before in my life. We walked into a bar, and we were sitting at the bar, man. This young person next to me.
What do you mean, young person?
Okay, well, you know what? I guess it's back in '90, so it wasn't so politically correct then. This woman at the time was sitting next to me, and I remember looking at her, saying something. Then I called her a bitch. And
why?
Because she made me mad.
Okay.
And then I remember.
So you're sitting at a bar. At the bar, you were sitting at a bar.
Was sitting at a bar, yeah.
Okay,
on the bar stool.
Right.
Just like
set
this.
It up, yeah. Set it up.
You're her,
right?
And so I look over and I say,
"Hey, handsome, would you buy me a drink?"
Bitch.
And you said, "Hey, bitch, no,
leave me alone.
Leave me alone."
Yeah, And so I didn't know.
You said that to her.
I said that to her,
and you turned around.
I turned around and talked to my buddy, and then next thing you know, I felt myself flying off this bar stool. This woman turned out to be a man, kicked my ass off the bar stool, proceeded to beat the crap out of me at the bar because I called her a bitch. So it turns out, if you ever seen that movie Hangover, that part 2 in Bangkok, that might have been that person's daughter or son from that movie that whipped my ass. It was a she-male that whipped my ass. But who else can sit there and say they've gone to a third world country or whatever it is and had their ass kicked by somebody like that?
Well, I got so many questions.
Put that on your resume.
I got so many questions.
You should put that on your resume.
Hey, Jesse said it sounds like a good country song. Okay, I got,
So let's fast forward to the back. Okay,
Hold
so
on, what's your question? What's your
yeah,
question?
go ahead.
man. Nobody helped you.
No, bro. No.
He had enough help himself.
Okay, so they literally, if I to this day, I wish they can find it. They was videotaping it.
They had cameras back then.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, they just barely. They had the cameras that had little videos on there, but we didn't have cell phones and shit back then. But yeah, no, they had videotaped it, bro, because we watched it in Okinawa when we went back.
So the Marines, okay, so we've established that the Marines is a place that there's a free for all. A lot of the times you get freedom to go get hammered, to drink, to drugs. There's a little bit of freedom of drugs and alcohol, right? And sometimes can what I would say, can I say, is it safe to assume that it's encouraged? Or no? I mean, not. I mean, your sergeants, they probably didn't go out and do drugs and go, but they know that when y'all go out to leave, y'all gonna get hammered.
Drinking is part of the culture, the military culture.
Right.
So it's like a big deal. I mean, I wouldn't say a big deal, but it's something that we all do. We all drink together. We all party together.
So let me ask you this: does the military, would the military take any kind of responsibility, like when you send back a what do you call a soldier? What do you consider your guys?
He's
I'm a Marine.
Marine, but but what do you call veterans?
Right.
Veterans. That's what you identify as, right?
Yes.
You two guys, because you're veterans. Does does the government take any, like they say? Well, okay, you have a question.
Go for it.
Go ahead.
I just want to know. So people who are in that field, like in the Army, the Marines, like the military, is it kind of prone for people who are in there to become drug addicts, like in there, or when they come
Good
out?
question.
Is that something that a lot of people who have been in there, is that something that they go through?
You
Good
know,
question. Would you
think a
repeat
lot-
that? Repeat that question.
She
She's
wants-
off the record. She's
She
off
asked
the- she can't
if it's prone to becoming an alcoholic or addicted
to
drugs.
fall to the things of addiction.
To
Yeah.
fall into like an addiction of some type, because not only, because I've heard other people who have come from like the military or the army or stuff like that who have tried drugs in there and they become addicts outside of it as well, or it affects them inside and they get dishonorable discharge like that. So is that something that happens quite a lot?
So let me touch on that real quick, because this is what happened to me. I was a 18-year-old kid, straight out of high school. Okay, I had a decent life growing up, and I went over there to the Marine Corps, went to boot camp, stepped on the yellow footprints, went through all that stuff, earned my way that title to a Marine. I left there, and all of a sudden, I think I am a man. I think that I am a grown-up, and I haven't even experienced life yet. I came back, visited my family. Then I got stationed in Oklahoma, and I got stationed in California. At 20 years old, 19 years old, I'm in Okinawa, Japan, and I'm in Thailand, drinking as much as I can, partying as much as I can. Was it encouraged? I'm not saying it was encouraged, but of course, we're going to do what we're going to do. I was in pre 9/11. So times were different for me than it was for Raul when he was in, because they was dealing with going to war. So a lot of the alcoholism, drug abuse, and stuff like that, I believe, had to deal with the things that they've gone through, the trauma that they've gone through while fighting. I didn't have to deal with that. Mine was being a dumbass kid and thinking I'm an adult. And so the old saying back in the day was, and it still is a saying, you're either going to come out married, divorced, or an alcoholic, or a drug addict.
From the military?
From the military. It's going to happen.
Or maybe all three.
Or all three.
All four.
All four,
yeah. So how okay, the setting is there, you drank, you did drugs, you found drugs, or your first experience with drugs was in the military. You at least that's what you're saying, and then you came back. Let's fast forward it, man. So you partied up there, you did what you did there at the military, you did your time, you come home.
Well, hold on.
Okay,
hold on.
you want to step back a little bit?
Because I'm not ashamed to say it. I am a veteran. I served my time, but I did get in trouble.
Okay, in the military.
My last 6 months in the Marine Corps.
Okay.
I got snitched on, got ratted on, whatever you want to call it. They was out there. I was buying drugs from a civilian lady out in town, and they've been watching her. And you ever seen that show NCIS?
Mm-mm.
on TV. The Naval Criminal Investigation Service. Them fools showed up to my door. They had already ransacked my house and everything like that, man. I had off-base house. I was married to my ex-wife at the time. I had sent her home because I didn't want my daughter to be born in that crazy place called California. So I sent her back home to let my daughter be born here. And I got busted. I got busted with a bunch of methamphetamines.
On the base?
It was in base housing, which is outside of base, was still considered the base government property, but it was also, they found it in my system. And so at the same time, so it was I didn't get a dishonorable discharge, but I did get in trouble.
So they came to your house and you were at home.
I was at home.
You were at home. They knocked on the door, and your wife wasn't there with your child, your unborn child yet. You had sent her home to have the baby here in Texas. You were in California. They knocked on your door. You answered the door and set that up, man. Tell us how that happened, if you don't mind.
They asked for my parents.
Your parents?
They asked.
Wait a minute, man.
They knew what they were doing.
It seems like deja vu. I keep hearing this over and over again. We got some other stories. Yeah. Well,
they knew what they were doing though, because they knew I was high, bro. They had been watching me.
Okay.
So
it was a trick question.
Yeah, it was a trick question because they wanted to see how I would react because they knew I was on meth. And so my reaction was, "Oh shit, my name's David Miller too." You know,
yours too.
Like, oh hey, you know, I'm the Marine, but my name's David Miller. Well, I'm David Miller too. Oh shit, me too.
This guy was David Miller too.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of like that commercial. I don't know if you've seen it, guy, where the cop walks up to the car and goes, "Hi, how you doing?" He goes, "Are you high?" And the girl goes, "Hi, how are you?"
How are you? Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking about just now. The same commercial.
That's what they. That's what
so
they
came
to
up
me,
to you,
and then told me
they asked you for your parents.
That's for my parents, and I'm like, "I'm a Marine. My name's David Miller." And they said, "Oh, we're David Miller too." And I'm like,
"So the guy's name was really David Miller?" Also,
no, they're fucking with me.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because they had been watching.
They do that
because later on in the day when they took me inside, they showed me video of me going to this person's house because they've been.
They said, "Can we come in?"
Yeah, no, they just came in, bro. They can do whatever they want to. It's government housing. And so,
and they said, "I got a video I want you to see."
They took me in and said they said I was under arrest for possession of drugs.
Oh, they hadn't, but they came in and searched your house.
They had already searched my house. Yeah. So check this out. So I was in trouble for possession of drugs on military installation, and so I'm like, I didn't do nothing. Blah blah blah. They said we found your drugs that was underneath a can of tomato sauce in the pantry. And I'm like, holy shit.
You're lying. It was under the beans. It was under the beans. You're lying.
And so I was like, how do you know? And they said, look, we've already ransacked your house. We've already gone through there, got everything. We found everything we needed. We're here to arrest you. So they took me in and they grilled me like crazy, bro. And they showed me all the video of me going out there. They showed me all the video of me going out there to buy drugs and stuff out in town, bro. And you know what? I look back and there was people, man, that I was talking to in bars and stuff like that in town. Because I was in 29 Palms, California. It's the Mojave Desert. There ain't nothing to do in the desert.
Hey, dude, but you got to be at least lucky that they didn't show you the video of that bitch fucking you up. You're like, hey, you got any more video?
I'd pay money to see that video.
I know, me too, man. Yeah. Shoot.
I'm glad my trauma is so.
I would have been relieved. I was like, that's all you got, man? That's all I can live with that. Hey, anyway, keep going.
We got Jesse real quick. Jesse says, I'm 2 weeks. I got 1.6 years. No hooch. Good job, Jesse.
All right, Jesse.
Jesse.
Awesome stuff, brother.
All right, congratulations.
What's up, Eloy?
That's awesome, man. Eloy, if you say something about Fajita Friday, I'm gonna lose my shit.
Well, you just did.
Snitches get stitches. So instead, snitches get stitches. That's right, cuz.
That's what's up.
So anyway, and then so they grilled you. They told you, and then what did we call?
I was on my way to.
So did you go to jail?
I was on my way to Leavenworthville.
Okay.
I was on my way to military prison. And God, Daddy, chill out.
Man, you keep looking down when the camera's up there.
I don't know where to
look.
Know what kind of shit. It just feels weird. Just like this one.
I don't know what kind of shit's happening with this daddy shit, but it's making me really uncomfortable.
Daddy. They
Hey,
Sorry,
Michelle
man.
said yes, Fajita Friday. Missing
Fajita
it.
Friday. What's up, Michelle? Hey, man.
Michelle, you need to mute Michelle.
What's up, Michelle?
Head
Oh, no, you
comments.
can't. Yeah, you know Michelle? You
Yeah, I
can't
know
mute her.
Michelle.
You can't
Michelle.
fucking mute her. She doesn't come with a mute button, Michelle.
So
Yeah.
anyway, bro, I was on my way to level. I was on my way to prison, man, and so only thing I had to do is what do you think I had to do?
Snitch.
I had to snitch, bro.
Uh-huh.
And so, hey, this is who I was getting it from. And cool thing is that they already had some other people already buying stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
They sent people back over there, and they arrested her. And here's the problem: is that when they were doing that, bro,
There wasn't a problem until then, huh? Okay.
there was another problem.
Okay.
And this is what I'm fighting right now, though, too, is that they sent me to go buy drugs. And guess what I did?
You kept the money.
No, I was using half the drugs, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, they send me in there to go buy like a gram, and I'd take half the gram from it. I'd shove it in my sock or whatever, dude, and I'd take it. They dropped me off back at home, and I was staying high.
Nuh-uh.
So I failed another drug test while in what do you call it?
I don't know. Surveillance.
Being in their
yeah.
lockup or whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So I was still using, man, and so they told me to hey, this is it,
We're missing some shit.
and
Yeah, there's not weighing.
Yeah.
They're not weighing out, man. We're like short, man.
Yeah, no.
Uh-huh.
So they took me, man, and they said, "Look, we're gonna get you
So
out of
let
here."
me ask you this, David. After wait a minute, they give you a break, right?
They gave me a break.
They gave you a break. They said, "Hey, help us out, and let's get some of this shit cleaned out." And even with that, and here's where the addiction that we talk about, Raul, that we have a chance to clear ourselves. We have a chance. This is where the disease that we talk about takes over, right? Because we get this chance to revoke or not revoke. We get a chance to maybe get our freedom back or get something back out of this thing that we're doing. You in this case.
Mhm.
But your addiction is going, hey man, feed me, right? It's telling you, feed me, man. We can get, they're not gonna know.
Bro,
They've never done this before.
I was getting high off the military's dime, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But did you think for 1 minute that the military is stupid?
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm
Hell
saying.
yeah, man.
And you know who was telling you that? This is where our disease tells us that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? That's the disease. That's what we talk about in the program. And you know that, David, that's the disease talking, right?
Yeah, see, and
Anyway.
the thing is though too, man, what I left out is that there were times that I'm in the desert, so there was either bombs blowing up from the Marine Corps
Right.
or there was meth labs blowing up.
Okay.
So I was getting stuff, dude, that was. I remember laying on the
Falling
couch.
from the sky.
I remember laying on the couch.
This shit was just falling from the sky.
I remember laying on the couch, man, and I looked down and I looked myself on the couch, and there was ants all over me, bro.
What?
I remember somebody kept calling me into my same window. I had my window upstairs. I had like figurines and stuff. I stacked them on top of each other, so in case somebody tried to come in the window. And every 5 seconds, dude, I was running upstairs because somebody was coming in my window.
But you were imagining these things.
Oh, dude,
right?
bad, bro.
You were staying up for days.
I was up for 2 weeks at one time.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks at one time. I don't know how I made it, dude. I looked,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking nobody knows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got
But yeah, so I was getting high off the military's dime, man, and
Did they catch on to that?
They did.
Okay.
They knew.
Yeah.
These guys,
They're the military.
they're the military.
Yeah, yeah.
They're the ones that started this drug war, anyways. You know?
Right.
he
So
said
then what happened?
we got Rocky here that said I was in Fort Irwin
Irwin.
CID used to catch soldiers buying spice in Barstone all the time.
Yeah, dude. But that was
Yeah.
that's spice. So I was young, so yeah, we didn't have all that stuff back then. We had meth, man. That's what it was bad, bro. It was very bad. You know what, dude? I went into a meth house one time when I was over there. One of my staff sergeants and one of the gunnies was in that house, bro.
Mm.
One of our leaders, they were in that house, bro.
By
And
getting high.
getting high, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about freaking out. That's how and after that is when I realized and I thought that, okay, I'm cool. I ain't going to get caught because they ain't got caught.
Mm-hmm.
But, it always made sense why they always walked around with sunglasses and shit.
Right.
But
So whatever came out of that? Did that you got busted?
they sent my ass home, brother.
They did.
they
But you didn't
sent-
go to prison. That's a good thing.
Didn't go to prison, man. I lost my benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Which, hey, you know what? Better than going to Leavenworth.
Right.
Because of what I had, the amount of meth that I had, any kind of amount of meth is bad.
Right.
But what I had and stuff like that, man, I wasn't selling, but I was so high and so tripped out all the time, dude, that I was buying so much that I would lose it. And I was hiding shit that I never could find it again. And so you're talking about 15, 16 grams of methamphetamine throughout my house. And I didn't even know it was there. I was pissed off because after I found out, I was like, shit, all that was in my house.
Get out. I'm gonna chingas on my.
I was mad.
Sorry.
I was mad that I was mad because all that was in my house. Says David, how long do you think during your military career were you high? I was only high my last 6 months of my military career. Yeah,
she's fine. As long as she stays there.
I was only high my last 6 months of my military career.
So man, you got sent home and you came home and you continued to do what you were doing?
Yeah. So
you were deep in addiction by then?
So when I came home, man, well, you know what? On 9/11, when 9/11 happened, I was driving home from California to come get married to my first wife, dude. I was high on meth. I drove from California all the way to Houston, Deer Park. You talking about
15 minutes you were there.
Hey, you talk about a trip, man. It was terrible. It was
so from California, you drove here
from
and you were high
from Palm Springs, California, until to Deer Park. I was high on methamphetamine. Dude, that was, the border stops, dude. It was the scariest thing in the world, man. And even that car. Let me tell you, my drug addiction was so bad, bro, that I rented that car. I drove it was a red Dodge Neon, right? A 2000 Dodge, whatever, 2001 Dodge Neon. I rented that car in San Diego, and guess what I got charged with? About 6 months later, I got charged with grand theft auto.
Because you kept the car?
Did you keep the car?
I kept that rental car for 6 months, bro.
What?
And I hid that bitch on base.
What?
Wait. So you drove it back home and you kept it?
I drove that sucker all the way back home, got married, dude, told them there was a military car. That's why I had it.
You were in a special, you were doing a special case, or you're a special mission, secret mission.
Hey, let me tell you though, my dad didn't want me to drive back by myself, and he wanted to go to California. So my dad drove all the way back. He drove me all the way back to California.
With your car?
He never knew it was stolen.
You let him drive it too.
Man. Daniel said, I used to be stationed out at Fort Irwin. I can't speak my Spanish accent.
Irwin.
That's the number one place for meth labs was in Barstow, California. I was there for a year and a half. Worst place to be stationed at. Ain't shit to do out there but get drunk.
Yeah, dude. That's true, bro. It's true. It says, but yeah, no, so my dad didn't know, dude. It says, Benavides Daniel, did he party out on Gas Lamp District?
Do you know what he's talking about? Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Is he talking about referring to Thailand?
I don't know. No, that's ass.
So you got married. So you get married.
Yeah. So I get married.
Where did you meet your girl? This girl, where'd you meet her at? By the way, did you meet her in the military? Or?
So yeah, let's not dwell on that. I think my wife's on my wife for the past 18 years.
She was the one that kicked his ass. He married the one that kicked his
ass from what does he call it?
Thailand.
From Thailand. Yo, hooked up on Twitter. Or not Twitter. What do you call that hookup place? Tinder. You found your own Tinder.
There was no Twinder in 1999.
Yeah, there was. It's called MySpace.
Look at my wife. What my wife say?
Oh, we got to keep it. Never mind.
My wife says, "Go ahead and tell him."
Go ahead and tell him.
No, she was.
So Misty is who you married from. That you came hauling ass from California to marry another girl.
No, that was another girl.
Oh,
Misty,
okay,
I got married to Misty in 2005. We've been together since 2004.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So, but my ex-wife, I knew her from high school. We dated in high school. I came back and to come. I was on leave one time in the military, and ran into her and thought I was in love. Got pregnant.
She got pregnant.
Yeah,
okay. She got pregnant.
Ricky,
okay,
yeah,
right. Well, I mean, a lot of motherfuckers be talking about we get pregnant. I was like, you get pregnant too? You too? Okay.
Jamie is the ex. I guess that's what it said.
So she gets pregnant.
She gets pregnant, and then I think that we had to get married, and that's when all that stuff happened.
What happened? The marriage.
Yeah, the marriage.
Oh, that's what they call it. Yeah.
But we really was never really married, brother, because let me tell you, when she came, she was only in California just for a little bit.
Okay.
Remember I told you I didn't want my daughter to be married in California. I didn't want no she's a Texan. So brought her back to Texas, and then I get out.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt, but in my mind, I see David high as shit on meth, hauling ass to Texas, because that's what you said earlier.
Yeah.
Because she was here. But all of a sudden, somewhere I lost something that you were back in California with her. How did that happen?
Yeah. So we got married.
You brought her from Texas. You took her back to California.
She came. Her dad brought her to California about a week later.
Oh, okay.
And
What would you
then-
come to Texas for when you came?
To get married.
You got married. And so you got married.
I got married.
You
My
went
marriage
back to
September
the-
11th.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you went back to you were still in the military?
Yeah.
I thought you got dishonorably discharged.
No, I was still in there, bro. I'm just saying that when I had come back. So I got married, and then
Okay,
when I got
okay.
I got busted 4 days after
Got
she
it.
left.
So you had been back a little. You're rewinding back a
Just
little
a little
bit.
bit, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
So
So go back to out of the military. So you got out, you came back to what, Pasadena?
yeah, well, Deer Park. Yeah, I came back to Deer Park. Lived with her parents, and I got a job. Excuse me. Her dad got me a job. He was he's a chemical plant operator, one of the chemical plants. He got me a job with Brown and Root as a boilermaker
that's
helper.
good. Yeah.
The boilermaker helper at the Oxy Chemical plant
Okay.
in Pasadena.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I started doing that and doing good. I was actually doing good, making good money.
Were you doing
And-
drugs?
Well, not yet.
Okay.
But a little bit after being there for a while, about 6 months or so, I got promoted and got asked to go drive the locomotive trains in the plant.
Mhm. And you were doing good. You were doing financially good. You were with your ex-wife.
Doing good,
And
yeah.
things seemed to be up.
Everything seemed to be up. And
Okay.
you know what? And meth was California. Meth wasn't in Texas to me.
Uh-huh.
Didn't see it, never heard of it. You know, it is what it is. And so I took the job in the same plant, but it was a promotion to go be a rail car loader. And that's loading PVC powder into the crane, into the tanks. But then I was driving the trains too.
Mhm.
One day I ran into an old friend of mine, dude, my barber. He had some coke.
Fucking barbers all the time. There's got to be a barber in a goddamn story. Every time a barber comes up in a damn story, it goes to shit. I'll tell you, every time.
Hey, my barber was the one too.
Yeah, I'm telling you that my barber too.
Yeah.
My barber's
Yeah,
the
we
first
talked
one to
about it
give
in
me
the
coke,
last
man.
episode.
Yeah.
Fucking barbers, man.
So yeah.
Excuse me, I just get emotional about barbers. Man. Sorry about that.
Hey, you got
So go
red
ahead.
flags.
So I ran into him, man. He's cutting my hair. He was sniffling a little bit, dude. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, man, what you got?" And he's like, "Here, you can have
wait,
it."
he was sniffing your hair?
He was sniffling while he was cutting my hair.
Oh,
Yeah. That kind of barber.
Yeah, it goes back to that other
Yeah,
story.
it always go back to the damn
Stay away from that
No,
story.
yeah.
Okay. Move on.
Taiwan. I got to remember the Taiwan story all the time.
Thailand, not Taiwan.
Thailand. Yeah, same
Yeah.
thing.
And that's racist.
David. Yeah. Go ahead, man.
So I ran into him. He gave me the coke, dude, and game over from there, brother. I remembered that feeling, that euphoric feeling.
So wait a minute. You're sitting at the chair, and he hands you a little bit of blow, and you while you're sitting
he
there.
handed me an 8-ball, bro.
Uh-huh.
He
says,
he
"Take a
was
hit."
he was so lit, and I said, "Man, you got something?" He's like, "Here, man, you can have it." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Went to the bathroom, and game over, bro.
Okay.
How
Game
many
over.
years did that addiction lead you to?
Until a couple years ago.
Well, wait. Let's back up a little bit. So tell me, after that, you went home. Eventually, you go home to your wife, and I want to know if you were using like in the closet. Were you?
Man, I
were you
was
an addict like me? Because
so-
I'm going to tell you something. That's where it took me.
I
Talk to me
was
about
so high all the time, bro.
that. Did your wife know you were high?
I thought she didn't. I don't know.
What do you mean?
I
You
haven't
never
talked
asked
to
her?
I haven't talked to her for.
But at the time,
I don't know. I don't remember. I was so high. I don't remember. Okay, my daughter.
you remember where you left her?
Okay,
the last time you saw her?
Let me tell you, 20 years old next month,
Uh-huh.
and I don't remember.
Is she still there? Wherever you last her?
Yeah, she's there somewhere. I haven't seen my daughter in 4 years,
Mhm.
3-4 years.
Mhm.
She don't want nothing to do with me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Mm.
But I don't remember. I don't remember my daughter growing up at all from her first 15 years of her life, bro.
Okay.
That's how bad I was. But there were so many times, dude, I'd leave bags of coke in the bathroom and stuff like that, dude. And
Mhm.
someone didn't get the memo in the proper color attire for the screen. Again, people, it's to show my business. This is to show my logo.
Nah, Jeff, you're right, man. You're right. He didn't get
It's idiot's fault.
it.
So,
So and
hey, I just want you to see right through me. That's all.
then, yeah, we want to be able to see through you. Exactly.
So no, it started everything, man. I wasn't a husband. I was never home. I was always gone. I wasn't there for my child, which cocaine ruined my marriage.
How did it ruin your marriage?
I wasn't there, bro.
Can you elaborate on that?
I was gone all the time. I got a job at the chemical plant.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I got so high, dude, that while I was driving the train, I hit another train.
Okay.
And I got fired. Well, I was going to get fired.
Wait, how do you wreck into another train?
So you don't stop.
No shit. But
so I kept going, and then it hit the train. So they sent me home. Luckily, they sent me home.
And you had to go take a test.
No,
No,
not yet. So they sent me home because I just said, man, I fell asleep, and they was like, because I worked a double, right? So it was playable, I guess. But I had gone when I left there, dude. I went straight to my dealer's house.
Of
I
course,
bought an 8-ball of cocaine.
Yeah.
I went home, and my dad was there. Me and my dad would use drugs together.
You skipped a big part of this. There's a hold on. Put the brakes on, buddy.
was it like that in your younger years as well?
No, my dad smoked weed all my life.
Hey, we left a big part of this.
Yeah.
You made a big skip, Bubby. You skipped. You don't know how to play hopscotch, do you?
Why? Because I'm short.
No, it always goes back to that. Wait a minute, man. Put the brakes on. Back it up. How do you say that thing? Back up this train, man. Wait a second. Wait just a minute. You and your dad. Your dad is still with us or no?
My dad
Has he
passed away about 13,
Okay.
14 years ago.
Well, I mean, are you okay talking about that? About
Yeah.
yeah. Are you sure? Because I don't want to bring that up.
No, go for it.
So, your dad did drugs with you.
Yeah.
And he y'all shared drugs together.
We smoked crack and did cocaine together.
So was this before the military?
This was after.
After, never before the military.
Never before.
So how did that, if you don't mind, David, when you came out of the military, your dad, did you know your dad did drugs?
I know he did weed.
Okay, so
I know he smoked weed.
How did this thing of any other drugs come up between y'all, and then leading up to going, hey, well, let's do something together? Or
I remember there was about 2 times in my life growing up where my dad. There's a company over here on 288 and 610. If you ever traveled by there, it's a big steel company. They have a bunch of steel pipe, oil pipe.
Okay,
that's my dad was a chief inspector there, one of the vice presidents over there. And I grew up him working there. And there was 2 times in my life where I remember my dad did not come home one night. And I didn't really think much of it. I didn't know any better. I was young. But it turns out that my dad was out there using, smoking crack, whatever. And he got caught up in the hotel and just never got, you got frozen up in somewhere, you can't leave. And that's what happened, I guess, apparently. And so, again, this goes back to when I got out of the military. My dad didn't know how to take me because I thought I was a man and I thought I was everything else. And him and I got into a fist fight and I tried to stab him with a knife. All this stuff, right?
Wow.
And so the only way that we got along was one day I was like, yeah, man, I'm high. I'm on coke. And he's like, hey, let me have some. And there we go. It was game over. So we did off and on stuff like that. My mom was a nurse and she worked at nighttime. And so we was up all night. By the time she got home, we'd get ready to force ourselves to go to sleep with Xanax and wherever else, you know what I'm saying? But that day I went to my dealer's house after I left the company that night, the plant. I got some dope, got 8 grams. I got an 8-ball of cocaine, went home. Me and my dad started doing it. Well, they called me to go back in. Well, I didn't want to give it to my dad. And I wasn't about to just leave it there. So he got pissed off because I didn't leave him none. I get over there to the plant and I have people waiting for me up front. They said, we need to take you to a drug test. I said, what the hell?
Oh, shit.
My dad called the company and told him I was on cocaine because he was pissed off because I didn't leave him none.
What the?
Yeah. He told him that you had drugs in you and on you.
Yep. Told him I had cocaine on me and me. And
they searched you or what?
No, hell no. I quit. You ain't doing no drug test on me. What are you talking about? I quit.
You don't think that might have been from the accident that you had that they had to take it again? Because that's usually standard on big companies like that. It's just pretty standard.
No. Because he come back that day because I left and went home, and I was like, you know what the hell happened? The guy told me my dad called, that somebody called. And so I knew who it was.
Mhm.
And I got home. I remember telling him, calling, cussing him out and everything. But then what does that drug addiction do? Oh, well, fuck it. It's over. Come on, let's me and him start doing the rest of the lines. Bought more cocaine, ended up going to Corpus Christi that night. So see his sister.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So okay, your ex-wife, how did things in between y'all because of your addictions, or was other things, or it just didn't work out?
Addiction, cheating.
So can you tell us about that? Because I really want to get to the relationship you have now with your wife. So if you Raul, and I'm sorry to take over. I don't know
No,
if you
you're
wanna ask
good,
some
man.
questions,
No,
but
I'm
I
listening.
want to get to the ending. What caused the ending? And if it's something else other than the drug abuse, and if whatever that was, and if you want to share it with us, but I'm interested to hear if drugs, alcohol, or something to that nature ended your first marriage.
Cocaine did.
Okay, so
Cocaine ended my first marriage.
What did your wife tell you? What was
the breaking point?
What was the breaking
I
point?
wasn't
for her?
coming home, bro.
Okay, so you were not coming
I
home.
was not coming home.
Okay, and then so not coming home. A lot of times, our wives wouldn't. My wife probably one day would probably say, "Hey, you're not going to come home, no problem." I think she would be okay. But when and I don't know about you, where drugs took me, right, was not just the not coming home, David, but not paying the lights, using the money for the rent on the drugs, right?
Stealing.
And stealing from my family members. And we're smart. We're smart as drug addicts, man. We don't steal from people that won't call the cops on us. We steal from the people close to us that won't call the cops.
Yeah.
As those wells dry up, and then we start doing the going into the neighbor's house and all that kind of shit, right? The people that will call the cops on us, we'd start taking those risks. So what did it for her to go finally say, what was the last straw that she said? Because I'm sure, like most women, they'll give us, we're in a relationship, we get married, and they say, okay, I'm going to give you another chance, and I'm going to give you another chance. And then there was a breaking point. Tell us about that one. And then we'll move on to your current wife.
Well, I honestly, I don't know, Ricky.
Right.
I don't remember.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I'm glad I don't.
Right.
Be honest.
And that, that is a blessing sometimes, Raul, because a lot of things in my old relationships I don't remember either.
Yeah,
and I don't want to remember.
But the hardest thing is, it wasn't even more about the marriage. It was I don't have that relationship with my daughter
Mm-hmm.
because of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then you fast forward to 2004, 2003. I meet Misty. 2004.
Mm-hmm. Where did y'all meet?
In South Houston, man.
Mm-hmm.
She actually, her grandmother. I lived down the street from her grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
We hooked up. And
did she know you were an addict or an alcoholic?
She did not know. No. That's somebody one day y'all need to have on here, man.
Yeah, your wife?
Yeah.
No, we were talking about that. Have the wives.
Everybody but mine.
Because sometimes Misty didn't like it when I sit there and tell everybody I put that woman through hell.
Really? This wife here?
Her too? Gosh, bro. She went to jail because of me.
Really?
Yeah. She hit me with the lamp, bro. Went to jail.
She hit you and went to jail? You called the cops on her too?
Well, no, the neighbor called the cops because I came home after being gone for a couple of days, and I was so high, she let me come back inside
the house.
Let me go to sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Woke me up, had me a plate of food ready for me to eat. I didn't like it because it was cold, and I threw it. She picked up on the big ass tall lamps.
Well, you deserved it.
I deserved it. There's no doubt, bro. But I went outside crying like a little baby, and the neighbors called the cops. HPD shows up. I got blood on me, and she goes to jail. She's like, "Yeah, I did it."
Yeah.
$5,000 later to get it expunged off a record. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to boast about. And I know she doesn't like a lot of that too. But for 18 years, bro, for 16, 15 years.
She said 5K later. It's expunged.
15, 16 years later, bro.
Would you do it again?
Would she do it again? Yes, she would.
In a heartbeat. I did it last week.
Yeah.
So you have been together for how many years?
18 years.
18
years.
Yeah,
I literally
18 long years.
Put up with you for 18 years.
We both lost family on both of our sides of our family because of my addiction.
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand why we are still together today. If I had to,
she's gonna have to.
People today don't understand, but God has a bigger plan. They don't understand what God's plan is for us. But I put her through many, many, many years of hell, man.
So in which way?
I stole from her.
Mm-hmm.
I abused her.
Mhm.
I cheated on her. I degraded her. You name it.
Okay, but because of you, look, David. Here's the thing in my program that there's me,
Mhm.
right, and there's me with the addiction, right,
Mhm.
and then there's the so. Are you saying that all these things that you did, all these horrible things you did to Misty, if right, that is a direct result of you being high or coming off of a high, or because you were drunk or high or any of those things?
It was being high.
Yeah.
It was being
Because
high.
now you how much sobriety do you have now?
2 years.
2 years. So she has an experience in these 2 years. You're completely different. If we talk to her, everything you did was due to his addiction. Okay. So we've established that you've become a better person. Misty, if you don't mind me asking you, and she's in our audience. Okay. Can we ask a question, Raul?
Yeah,
Can we ask?
She said it was not David himself sober.
Okay, so if I can ask, and you're going to answer for her because the rest of the audience, I don't know if they can see it, but is David a different person in the last 2 years from the 16 years that y'all been married? I'd like to ask that.
She'll answer it.
Okay.
What is
Let's give her a few minutes to answer.
yeah,
it.
let's
What do you
definitely-
think, David? Let's ask David while Misty decides to say no or yes. Do you have a time clock there? Click, quickly. Yeah, like the dating game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know when you're waiting for the answer, you've got 2
Ricky,
minutes.
Ricky,
Misty, you got 2
two-
minutes left.
2 years ago, Ricky, look right there.
Right.
See the scar?
I see that.
2 years ago,
She
she left.
said yes.
Yes, what?
She left me, bro, and left me at home. I was really bad in my meth addiction. I was even selling it, bro, here in Clear Lake.
Uh-huh.
It was so bad. I became an Uber driver just so I can go deliver drugs.
Hmm.
So I got pulled over one time with we just made it look like I was doing an Uber, and the cop was like, "Oh, okay, go ahead and go." It was smart.
Mm-hmm.
My addiction made me an Uber driver delivering drugs. It was great.
Mm-hmm.
But I robbed the wrong person one time, and that guy came tried to take back what was his. The guy that was living with me was a Aryan Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm.
After Misty moved out, my drug dealer moved in.
Mm-hmm. Nice move.
And well, hey.
Mm.
But him and I got into it. I kicked him out at an HEB, dude. Almost got into a fight. I remember he had about an ounce of methamphetamine left in my house. I went home and took it, locked him, threw his shit out, and they came back and looked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, I opened the door. I remember somebody knocked on the door. I had my gun with me, but apparently the gun didn't have no bullets in it, and I had one of those taser flashlights.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I was so high I didn't know how to turn it on. So when I opened the door, I looked. There's this guy standing there. He has a hatchet in his hand, and with the flat part of the hatchet, he hits me right across the head, right there. Boom, knocks me down. I remember getting up a little bit later, and he told me to lay down before he kills me, and he hit me again. And I look up, and they're taking my TV. They took my washer and dryer full. From the second floor. Nobody at 11 o'clock at night. Nobody saw this.
From the second floor.
The second floor took my washer and dryer.
To add insult to injury. It wasn't enough they hit you with a fucking hatchet. They got to take your washer and dryer.
And I had my favorite pants in the dryer.
My corduroys were in there.
But that was the first time.
My corduroys were in there.
That was the first time something major has ever happened to me. That
what?
Well,
you mean the transvestite in where were we? That wasn't bad enough for you.
Well, and in 2006,
wait a minute, what was that?
And in
Vietnam or what was that?
Thailand.
That wasn't bad enough for you, David.
And in 2006,
it gets better, huh?
2006,
Yeah.
2006. In 2006,
that's when it gets bad. Okay.
In 2006, I fell 180 foot from a crane, and that's where that came in. Okay, so here's the bad part. Y'all want to hear the bad part?
There's more. But there's more.
We sued the company and won $1 million. I walked out of there with $286,000 after lawyers' fees and after having surgery. How long do you think I had that money?
Month.
3 months.
3 months, bro.
Really?
You spent 200.
Misty got a couch and a refrigerator out of it.
What kind of couch?
An L-shaped
velour.
Yeah. Yeah, I spent almost $300,000 on drugs and people and everybody I thought was my friend.
Misty said he is not the same person now. So you in addiction is not the same person as you are now sober.
Her grandmother, before she passed away, she loved me to death. But her grandmother, I remember her holding my face one day. And she looked at me, and they was picking up Misty stuff from our house. She moved out, and she goes, "Where's my little David? Where's my David?" Little David. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be sensual right here.
I'm sorry. It just
But hey man, you know what? At the end of the day, we fast forward and you know, I have a granddaughter, beautiful daughters. I don't have a relationship with my first daughter, Haley. She don't want nothing to do with me.
And now, so what's your sober date, man?
My sober date,
is
April. It was April 2019.
Until 19. Yeah, so you're sitting at a couple years, right?
Yeah.
2 years.
Man.
April what?
April 19, 2019.
2019.
Right now in your sobriety, man, what is it sobriety?
It is. I mean, it's a recovery date. I mean,
Recovery,
sobriety
okay.
recovery date is what we really identify.
Okay,
with.
then
Yeah.
recovery date. Man, what brings you peace at this point in your life, bro?
My granddaughter changed my life, bro.
Yeah.
She did, but I got tired of hurting Misty. I got tired of hurting my daughters. I got tired of that, man. I wanted to be the man God created me to be, and I never could do it, man. I kept losing. I kept losing that battle, and you know, today, man, you said it, Rick. You said not too long ago, bro, and I told my daughter the day, I'm about being a service to others. I am not selfish no more. I don't give a damn about myself. I want to make sure that whatever I can do to help you, I'm going to do. You know, I'm out on the campaign trail with Gregory Rincon for judge at law. I'm out on that trail, man. I'm out meeting people. I'm out being a service to others. Getting up and being a service to my family.
That's the main one right there.
Yes, it is, man.
But one thing I learned, man, from Ricky is you got to put yourself first.
Yeah.
You got to put your recovery first. You have to put your man, because I don't know.
It's not easy, bro.
Well, here's the thing. To me, and let me tell you what our tree is. It's God first. This is the way. This is our what we are taught is God. We put God first. Our recovery, our family, and then ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's the care that that's the steps the way I run my recovery now. Me, I'm going to tell you, David, I've been struggling a little bit for the last several years. I have been struggling with the God thing. You know what I mean? I believe in God. I believe there's a power greater than ourselves, right? And but sometimes I doubt it, man. Sometimes I think to myself, bad things happen that I see around the world, and I go, how could and then awesome things happen in my life that I say, man, this must be somebody is looking out for me. You know what I mean? There's an entity, something is looking out for me, because look at all these beautiful things. And sometimes, look, let me tell you something else, man. I am like my sponsor used to say, Raul, he used to say, man, I'm a fast learner, but I'm even faster forgetter. You know what, David? Sometimes I don't realize and I don't remember where my addiction took me. My addiction took me to where my daughters had to leave and my ex-wife had to leave out of town because they couldn't be around me. You know what I mean? I had became somebody that was a disgrace to the family. Yeah. You know, and I was a disgrace to myself, man. And I spent a lot of time after getting clean. I spent at least 3 or 4 years, you know, trying to get my self-respect back, man. It didn't come back right away. And I'm sure you could relate to this, man, that it's going to take some time.
It does.
It takes time, man, to, you know, and to feel, you know, to feel these emotions and deal with emotions and process a lot of things. And I mean, I don't know if you've experienced any of that. I know I did. You know what I mean?
Do all the time, bro. But today though, it's you know, I'm gonna be the best husband I can be. I'm gonna be, you know, I'm ordained too. I got ordained in 2015, my wife and I do weddings, do funerals, and you know, I mean, we've had our own church, bro. And it's I've always allowed God to hey God, please take this wheel and go and take the reins, God. And as soon as everything looked okay, man. I got it. I got this bad boy. And
Yeah. No, and I'm going to tell you
Shoot
something
down,
else.
bro.
I'm going to tell you something else. I was at one time, Raul, when we were talking about service to others, I was at one time, I was a little confused thinking that, the service to others was, to me, service to others is also something to do with recovery, for me. You know what I mean? Because recovery is helping a recovering addict, because that's what we have in our program is one addict helping another addict is without parallel. I don't know if I've heard that before. We can understand each other. I can understand the loneliness and the what you felt, loneliness and desperation and all that and the look that your wife or ex-wife had looked at you, the way she looked at you. My ex-wife probably looked at me, and my kids did too.
Definitely. Oh.
But I mean, recovery is about building relationships again, man. And getting rid of all the pain. But
Misty said, if you take care of yourself,
You can't take care of yourself.
oh, if you can't take care of yourself, how can you take care of others?
absolutely, that is key.
And then
So,
you got Amber Hernandez said, great story. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for joining us, Amber.
And then you got
I did try to help once and twice to a friend, ex-military, and he dragged me to his BS. The big mistake that I did was I opened the doors to my house. I hope he's doing better now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that happens sometimes when you
if
care.
you don't know what you're dealing with, man, it's hard to help people.
Absolutely.
Biggest thing you can do is, you know what? Don't be a contributor.
yeah, and you can't. What do
Enabler.
you always say,
Enabler.
Ricky? And you can't take somebody else's pain away,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's where you can't don't deny people their pain.
right?
Sometimes we
dragging
have to go
somebody's-
through that,
you're
man.
dragging
I'm
somebody else's
grateful.
demons.
Hey, I don't know about you, Raul and David. Even though my what happened to me and what I went through, it sucked. I mean, it sucked really. I mean, at the time I was going, dear Lord, man, I'm not gonna make it. But looking back today, man, I'm glad I went through it. Because it did. I feel sincerely that I learned some things from it. You know what I mean? I learned, and I wonder. I would not be the person I'm today, Raul, without it. Because if I would have at least, it just completely changed me. Like I have more compassion, man, towards people and suffering than I would have.
Understanding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But with
Man,
that,
today is 900 days for me, bro.
is it all right, man?
900, man.
Congratulations.
900.
That's a lot. That's
Hey,
a big deal.
I'm excited about it. Michelle says you have to take control of oneself to progress in life. Failure to progress will leave you stranded with many things to draw you back into addiction. Raul and Ricky are proof of progress in life and how they move forward away from the past.
I guess I'm not.
Thank you, Michelle. I
I
take back all the
appreciate that,
bad things I said about you.
Thank you. That
All right.
that's touching. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Me and Ricky are just trying to man, just let people know that recovery is possible. Ricky.
Absolutely. The
And
lie's dead.
The lies,
You know,
dead.
and one of the
Mhm.
biggest things, though, guys, and listening to your podcast, Ricky and Raul, what you do, don't pass in judgment on nobody. Everybody has a story, man.
Right.
Man.
Everybody. It doesn't. The more you learn about people, the more you meet people, it amazes you. You would never think somebody's gone through something. Somebody's in that addiction. Somebody's had to deal with that addiction. A wife, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
We're out there.
Absolutely.
We're out there, and that's why raising awareness of it. I'm not ashamed to come tell my story.
That's good.
I don't know what my future may hold, brother, and I could care less what anybody thinks of me after watching this tonight.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But if it helps somebody to show somebody, hey, it's okay to step up and tell your story. It's okay, because somebody needs to hear it.
Absolutely.
Somebody needs to know that they're not alone.
Yeah.
And I lived with the shame of what I did in the military for many years, right, Ro? I told you.
Yeah.
And I did it to myself. And then I find out that I'm not the only goofball out there screwing up in the military. They're everywhere.
They're a bunch of scrubs.
Yeah, man. Hey, he heard a phone call conversation that I had
That's
with
right.
with some people,
Yeah.
and some people asking questions about some.
I needed some holy water to get.
Yeah,
I felt dirty going to
I'm
this.
telling you, bro.
You do?
It's been, David said you guys have a great show. You've helped me with my quit drinking, and I thank you for that.
All right,
Man,
David.
David, we appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Misty. It says a lot of people look down on those who are in addiction. Honestly, I have. But when I began to understand it, I then made the choice to deal with it or walk away.
That's respect. I like that.
Guys, let me tell you that woman is amazing. she's walked away from family for me, for our family, for our marriage, for what God has put together. And I hate that to happen to her, but
man.
you know what? It was either, they try to make her choose between me or them. And she's a strong woman. And my goal in life is to, one day she can just wake up. If she wants to do this, if she can do it. If she doesn't, whatever it is, I want to make her happy.
Right.
I want to make her happy.
All right. Well, congratulations.
That's
man.
who I want at my deathbed.
Oh, yeah? All right. Well, man, David, I'm glad that you came in. You had a great story, and I feel like we've only touched the tip of the iceberg with you, man. We have to have you back, man, because there's a lot more. I mean, I think we only hit like a quarter of your addiction. We need to bring you back, man. I would love for you to come back and tell us. I feel like we're only halfway through the story. Yeah,
definitely.
I think so.
But yeah. All right,
hey, man, with that, guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like and share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If we're gonna do Ricky said do a part 2 next 2 weeks.
Yes, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yes. Anybody need insurance, man? There's your boy right here. Voyage Insurance.
Auto, home, commercial, health, life. I got you.
So be sure and check him out, and also share our Facebook page. And if you missed this and just like listening to the podcast, you can check us out on any podcast platform as of tomorrow. And Eloy just officially said Viva Fajita Friday.
Yeah, I know the Fajita Friday.
Hey, so with that, Ricky.
All right. The light is dead. We do recover. Right on.